Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of E-commerce Clearly. Today, I want to tell you a story. A few days ago, I ordered a dress from a fashion brand I'd been seeing all over Instagram. You know how it goes. The same meta ad follows you around for days until eventually curiosity wins. So I clicked. The website looked beautiful. The product photography was amazing. The reviews looked genuine. There was a detailed size guide. Everything about the shopping experience inspired confidence. So I placed the order. A few days later, the dress arrived, and honestly, I really liked it. The quality was great, it looked exactly like the picture. The only problem was that I needed a medium instead of a small. Now, if you've ever ordered online, you know that's completely normal. Fashion sizing isn't standardized, different brands fit differently. So, I wasn't frustrated that I needed another size. I was frustrated by what happened next. I went back to the website looking for an exchange button, nothing. I searched it again, nothing. Eventually, I found an email address. I sent them a request asking for an exchange and then silence. No acknowledgement, no response, nothing. Now, this episode isn't about calling out the brand. In fact, I hope they've replied by the time you're listening to this. But that experience made me ask a bigger question. Why is fashion one of the hardest businesses to build in e commerce? The question eventually became our latest EBT deep dive, the Indian Fashion e commerce playbook. And while researching the report, there were three other things that completely changed how I think about this industry. So let's talk about them. The first thing that surprised me, fashion brands don't compete on clothes, they compete on systems. When most people think about fashion brands, they think about design, fabric, marketing, Instagram aesthetics, influences. But after spending weeks researching this industry, I realized something. Customers don't stop judging your brand after they click buy now. That's actually where the real business begins. Think about everything that has to happen after an order is placed. The warehouse has to go pick the right SKU, the right size has to be packed, courier has to deliver it on time. If the customer needs an exchange, customer support has to respond quickly, inventory has to be updated, another product has to be dispatched. Every one of those steps determines whether the customer comes back or not. In fact, one benchmark that really stood out to me came from Unicommerce. Fashion and accessories recorded a 12% RTO rate and an 18% customer return rate. Think about that. Almost 1 in 5 customers receive a product and then decides it needs to come back. That's not a marketing problem. That's an operational challenge. And it completely changed how I think about fashion. Marketing gets you the first order. Operation earns the second. The second thing that surprised me, fashion is quietly becoming quick commerce. If you'd asked me 5 years ago whether people would expect clothes delivered in a couple of hours, I would have laughed. Quick commerce made sense for milk, groceries, medicines, forgotten ingredients. Fashion, not really. But look at what's happening today. Myntra is experimenting with M now. New players like Zelo are building around fast fashion delivery. Even D2C brands are moving inventory closer to customers through city level fulfillment centers and dark store like models. That completely changes the game. Imagine it's Saturday afternoon. You're invited to dinner. You suddenly realize you need a black shirt or a white dress. Earlier, that sale would have been lost. Today, maybe it isn't. But what's really interesting isn't the delivery speed. It's what happens behind the scene, because same day delivery means your inventory can't sit in one giant warehouse anymore. Now you're managing multiple locations. Forecasting becomes harder. Inventory gets fragmented. One location runs out of stock while another has too much. Again, everything comes back to operations. I genuinely think this is one of the biggest shifts we'll see in fashion over the next few years. And the third thing that surprised me, offline isn't dying, it's evolving. One thing I noticed while researching brands like the Soul Stores, Snitch, and Libas was that many of them are opening physical stores. At first, I thought, isn't that the opposite of what D2C was supposed to be? Wasn't the whole point to sell online? But it made sense. Fashion is tactile. People want to feel fabrics, try different sizes, see colors in person, build trust. Stores aren't replacing e commerce, they are complementing it. Someone discovers the brand online, visits the store, then orders online later. Or maybe they discover it in a mall first and become a repeat customer through the website. That's not online versus offline anymore. That's omni-channel. And I think the brands that understand this are going to have a huge advantage over the next few years. So after spending weeks researching this report, what's my biggest takeaway? Honestly, I thought I was writing about fashion. Instead, I realized I was writing about systems. Every successful fashion brand looks different. Different products, different customers, different positioning. But underneath, they're all solving the same problems, inventory, warehousing, returns, exchanges, customer support, speed, trust. And that's why I think fashion is one of the most fascinating categories in e-commerce. Not because it sells clothes, but because it forces brands to become operationally excellent. If today's episode made you think differently about fashion e-commerce, I'd love for you to read the full EBD deep dive, the Indian Fashion E-commerce Playbook. This podcast only scratches the surface. In this report, I go much deeper into the fashion ecosystem, marketplaces, D2C strategies, returns, exchanges, warehousing, quick commerce, dark stores, brand case studies, and finally, a practical playbook for anyone looking to build a fashion brand in India. If you do read it, let me know what surprised you the most. And if there's another industry you'd like me to deep dive into, I'd love to hear your suggestions. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of E-commerce Clearly. And remember, the best fashion brands aren't remembered because they sell great clothes. They are remembered because they make the entire journey from discovery to delivery to exchange feel effortless. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.